100 trade union delegations from around the world convened in Damascus, condemning the foreign terrorist war and an economic blockade directly affecting the lives of the Syrian people. In solidarity with the Syrian people, they agreed to develop a worldwide campaign taking aim at the governments and states which support terrorism, impose a human blockade on Syria, and while also manipulating the narrative on Syria. Participants of the event commended Syrian workers for being true combatants of their homeland at a time of war. They were lauded for maintaining their jobs in factories and other work in spite of the constant threat of terrorist attacks that up to date have resulted in the deaths of more than 9,000 workers, the wounding of another 14,000, while 3,000 were kidnapped by extremist groups. On behalf of workers of their respective countries, trade union representatives present in the forum urged the international community to support the Syrian people against the hostile, aggressive, and interventionist policies of Washington and its allies against Syria.
They were not able to bring down Syria with war, and even today they cannot break the Syrian people through the blockade and the sanctions. The Syrian people do not lower their guard despite all the challenges, and we are confident that they will continue their fight until they triumph. They will not cease to support their leadership and national army.
We denounce the media campaign which exists throughout this process that is being developed by the people of Syria. Undoubtedly, we believe that in all the nations which have a presence here, they'll be able to learn more about the realities and situation here. Without a doubt, the position of Cuba will be a position of firm support for the process taking place.
Sanctions, as I mentioned before, on Syria are taking place in so many other parts of the world. It's completely unacceptable. And the Canadian labor movement does support the people in Syria, and we're here to put pressure to take the sanctions away.
The war and the blockade have caused state losses which exceed $90 billion. Still, Syria's government has not abandoned the social and economic subsidy policy and has continued paying the employee wages. Meanwhile, workers continue to stand firm. They've resolved to rebuild their country, a lesson in firmness and resistance to the entire world.